Okay, this is it. This is the 200th and final video that I'm going to be making as a daily diary of life here in the Metro Detroit area under COVID-19. I've been doing one of these every night since the lockdown began back in March, but I decided about a month ago that when I hit the 200 mark, I would end it because, after all, the main reason why I did this was because if I got sick, I thought it might provide a unique documentary record of one person's experience battling this dreadful disease. But thankfully, I never got sick. And I'm hoping that that remains the case. But anyway, you know, this is a very suitable night for ending this because I've been feeling really, really lousy all day. But I don't have a fever. I don't have labored breathing. I do have a chronic pain condition, and what the symptoms that I'm experiencing are very consistent with the chronic pain condition. So I'm glad that I'm going to be ending this tonight because it has been a burden to make this every night. And, I might do it on a weekly basis just to bring up to speed. We do have an election coming up 3 weeks from yesterday, which is going to be a major, major news event. And we are looking at a very strong likelihood of a second wave of COVID-19 here in the United States. And we're already seeing signs of that possibly happening here in Michigan, even though, here in Michigan, we've been doing an awfully good job of keeping it contained. And so I feel pretty safe here. So it's just a matter of continuing the social distancing, continuing wearing the mask wherever I go. But today I haven't been feeling at all well, so today I'm really kind of glad that we're ending this. What does the numbers look like? 778 deaths in the United States in the last 24 hours, 13 here in Michigan. So we are now at the 216,000 mark for deaths in the United States and very 6,941 deaths here in Michigan. 51,000 infections in the United States today. Just 1,359 infections in Michigan, both of which are fairly high numbers, okay? But again, as I was explaining yesterday, since the percentage of infections versus the no total number of people who are being tested is well below 6%. In fact, it's probably below 5%. It's not really that critical a thing that infections have been rising, and most of the infections that have been taking place are from people who are not following social distancing and are not uh, wearing masks and following the other protocols. 7.9 million infections in the United States since this pandemic started, and 139,000 here in Michigan. So that's the report. I'll be checking in maybe once a week just to see how things are progressing. But I'm done with the daily thing unless I get sick. But considering how I've been feeling today, I think I may not have any energy if I do get sick. One appropriate thing for my final night here is that on the news tonight, it did say that COVID-19 can trigger chronic fatigue syndrome, or for people who have chronic fatigue syndrome, make it a lot worse. So I've had chronic fatigue syndrome for over 30 years now. So of course, whether it's chronic fatigue syndrome or just a chronic pain condition or whatever, the doctors really don't know that much about it. The doctors really don't know, what's going on with me. I'm just glad that I have doctors who are able to manage the symptoms and keep things bearable, keep things manageable so I can have a life, even though for 30 years I have not been able to have a actual paying job. Um, I've been running a couple of businesses, but I can't be on anybody's payroll because I cannot work at anything that requires me to keep a consistent schedule. So we'll let it go at that. We'll see how things go. On the election front, we'll see how things go on the vaccine front as the weeks and months go by and see whether or not we do get into a second wave. As I said, from now on, a week, maybe I'll report once a week, maybe I'll report once every other week. I'll make that decision as I get there, and maybe I won't report at all. Anyways, number 200, signing off. Have a good night, and hope everybody stays well.